Okay, so we have created the head as you can see, and it is not polished. Obviously, we still have not created the ears. Like everything is pretty rough, but because we have to, change some design and stuff, we cannot really polish it right now. So now we need to create the body. So let's just do that. I am gonna be using a sphere, and it is going to be a different object. So this part is going to be our rib cage. I'm going to scale it up a bit. Apply the scale. It is important. Otherwise, your the strength of your brush is going to be a little bit weird. So I'm going to do that, and this is going to be a rib cage. And we are missed. Oh wait, I actually just forgot to tell you. You can see that I have added some of the reference images. So these are some of the images that we are going to be using in order to create the body. I know that I was only able to, let me just, yeah, I was only able to add these two for the body and these two for the leg. Actually, this is the only one. And then I have some heads and I have some faces which we are going to be using in order to create the wrinkles and details. So yeah, I have added the reference for shoes. You can see the clothes. So these are all the clothes, right? And this is pretty much what we are going to be going for. So this particular reference, this is something that I actually want to achieve. And yeah, we basically have, I think, everything. So I'm just going to go to my echo shape, and we're going to be using this as a reference to basically sculpt our body. And first thing first, we want to create the rib cage. So what I do, I'll just go into the sculpt mode, and we want to achieve this shape. If I were to just look at it from the front, you can see this shape, right? An egg kind of a shape. So we want to do that, and let's just achieve that. I'm going to put this to smooth, and we want to achieve this egg kind of a shape. So I'm just going to push it out a bit. And from the side, you can actually just look at it from the side, like still oval kind of a shape. So let's just pull it up, and I'm going to push this part down, and this part is supposed to go in a bit. And yeah, let's just do that. So let's just also remesh this. I am like still trying to fix the shape of my rib cage. You can see how this part is a little bit up and this part is a little bit down. So I'm gonna try and achieve the same thing here. And yeah, let's just do that. Okay, so this is what we have. I'm gonna fix the shape from this side. And it is not perfect, but I guess it's gonna work. So now what I'll do, I'll just mask the bottom part. So mask. And I'm going to invert the mask and then use the grab brush to push down my stomach area. So this area basically. And I'm going to remove the mask, and then I'm going to mask the top part. And this is going to be our neck. So Control I and grab, and you can see how it goes at an angle. We're gonna do the same. And you can see that the placement is not correct. So what I'll do, I'll actually go over here and move my whole torso somewhere around here, I guess. Yep. And if it feels like that the placement is not working, you can always change that. So this is what we have. And yeah, let's just push it in. And we have the stomach. Let's press Control R to remesh it. And I think we can increase this a little bit. So 0.1 is going to be a little bit better. And now if you want to, you can start pulling out stuff. For example, we can actually pull out the hand. So you can just do that and Control I. If you want to, you can also use the move brush. So something like this. And you should be able to just do that. And now press Control R to remesh it and start adding some of the shoulders. So right now again it is just the blocking, and we want to make it scale. So something like this. So we don't want to how do I say it? We don't want this to be super thick, right? But right now, I am just gonna start adding some shoulders like this. And I think I'm going to pull it out a little bit. We still need to add some collarbones. So let's just do that. I think adding the collarbone is going to be the best thing. So something that I want to say about the collarbone is, you can see how collarbone is supposed to look from the top. So it is kind of like a bow, right? You can clearly see how it is. So just think about it like a bow, and from the front, it goes up a little bit. So there is an angle to it. And if I were to just go to that older guy again, you're gonna realize that the older you get, the angle basically increases, or maybe skinny, I don't know. But in this case, the angle is a little bit more than what we usually have. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna start marking the collarbone. So let's just mark it like this, right? Actually, pressing control is gonna be better. So I'm just going to mark it, and let's just go into the local view, and you can see that we are getting that bow kind of a shape, which is what we wanted to have. And also, if I were to go over here again, you're gonna realize it basically straights right over here. So we also need to give this angle, and I'm going to press Control R. So yeah, you can see that we have created the collarbone. I'm going to push this part down, and I'm going to push this up, because remember there is an angle to it. So we have this. Yep. So this is what we have. And one of the first thing that I would like to do is I like to add a seam in between, so that I can identify which like my center, my ribs center. And now you can see that we have the ribs going on right over here. You can see like this. So I'm going to mark to identify that. So I'm just gonna do that, and this is gonna go back like this, right? And you can clearly see that our rib cage shape is not actually that accurate to this one. So I'm gonna try and pull and push to make it look better. So this one is gonna go like this, and from the side, let's just look at it from the side. Yeah, you can see this is supposed to come down like this, and like you can clearly see right over here. So I'm just gonna do that. And we have a rib. You don't really see the rib area at the back, but you definitely see that in the front. That's why I have added this in the front actually. And yeah, I guess it is looking good. If you want to, you can like push it out a little bit. You can exaggerate basically, so that it looks like that he is like super skinny. Okay, so we have created the ribs, and we have added the shoulders. I definitely want to make the shoulder a little bit skinnier right now. It looks like a normal guy. So, yeah, you can see how skinny the shoulders are. One thing that I want to do first is I basically want to just mask this out. And let's just go mask, and where is the smooth mask option? I'm going to smooth the mask out, invert the mask, and basically push the hands a little bit down. So if I were to rotate, oh yeah, there's one thing that you can see, that I want to put the pivot point right over here. And in order to do that, just press Shift and right click, and you can see that we have the pivot right over here. So now I can just do this, and I think I want to push the hands out a little bit as well. Maybe pull them down. Yeah. So this is what I want to do. I think I have rotated them a little bit too much. Let's try it again. So yeah, I think this is good enough. Alt M, and yeah, this is, I guess, good enough. Now, if you want to, you can like use the inflate and make them a little bit thinner. So yeah, just do that. And from the front, it's like from the side, they are going to be thin. Okay, press Control R. I think I want to increase the resolution a little bit. So let's just try 0.05. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good enough of resolution. And we have this. So first thing that you need to make sure that you get right is the ribcage shape. At this point, I feel like the thickness of the ribcage is a bit too much. So I want to decrease it down a little bit. So let's just push it a little bit closer, and yeah, just push them just a little bit closer. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So we have a decent enough rib cage. If you want to, I feel like you can actually just mark, basically add a little bit of more volume. And yeah, let's just go to the rib cage area. And if you want to, you can start marking these. For example, you can see how the rib cage is going like this. So if you want to, you can just start adding some of these. Again, this is just some placement, like some marking. These are obviously not the final, but it is just going to give us a really nice look. And yeah, let's just go back to the older guy. Okay, so now we have the hands. Obviously, nothing is polished right now, so don't you think that all of this is final. We can actually start creating the chest area. So you can see we have chest, and let's just go back to the echo. I'm just doing back and forth. So you can see how chest basically starts from here. So it starts from the collarbone, right? Right over here. And we have this space in between right over here. So we're gonna be adding that. And I'm gonna show you one of the best way to add all these muscles actually. So we have these muscles that goes right over here. So somewhere around here. And then it goes towards the hand. So we basically have this as a continuation, right? Let's just exaggerate it a bit, and let's just mark it. So you have this that goes like this, right? And this just continues right over here. So this makes a chest, right? I am exaggerating it a little bit. It is gonna make him a little bit muscular, but I guess it is gonna be easier for you to understand. So this is how the chest basically looks like, and I am gonna be removing it because I don't wanna have that much of volume in the chest. Again, he's a skinny guy, but this just continues right over here, and then you have shoulder that also connects to your collarbone, that goes like this, which connects in the same area basically, as you can clearly see, right? So just just do that as well, and have some space right over here that you can see. And if you want to see the space in a real person, I can actually show it to you. So if you were to go to a scan, for example, I have scans, there it is. You can see this space right over here, right? You can clearly see that. So this is something that you have. You can also see the same thing in him. And if you were to just peek at your own chest area, you're gonna be able to see that as well. So yeah, just do that. And now you can see we have this. So let's do the shoulder area, this part and this part. So let's just go to a side view, and you can see that we have mainly we have 3 or 4 parts in the shoulder. The first part we have already covered, that goes from the collarbone, and it basically just attach right over here. And then we have this middle area. So this middle area basically goes somewhere around here, right? And it reaches out, like literally it just, you can see till where it comes. And I'm going to exaggerate it a little bit so that you can clearly see what I'm talking about. And then we have this back area. So if I were to just let's just come over here, you can see, right? And yeah, let's just continue this just like we have over here. It's a continuation. So let's just do that. I am gonna be removing most of these volumes because our guy is skinny, but just for the sake of showing it to you, I'm doing that. And then if you were to look at the same things from the back, you can see how it goes. So it basically just goes like this, right? And the shoulder muscles basically comes on top of the other muscles. So make sure when you are sculpting, you do that. And you don't, let's just say that you are making the triceps, don't do this. Otherwise, triceps are going to be on top of the shoulder. You make the triceps first, like this, and then you do the shoulder again. So that shoulder would always be on top of the other muscles. But yeah, before we do any more of the muscles, let's actually do the body landmark. So I'm just gonna be using the inflate, and I'm then gonna be adding these. So yeah, just do that. And then it goes back a bit like this. I'm gonna show it to you actually. So yeah, you can see it is going back, and then we have the shoulder blade. So let's just look at it from the top as well. You can clearly see what we have. And I'm gonna be adding this particular part that goes back, right? And then it just creates the shoulder blade. So again, our shoulder blades are not at the right position. But if you were to just look at this from the back, like this, we should be able to create this a little bit more accurately. So these are gonna go down like this, and then it is gonna be creating our shoulder blade. So kind of like this. And the shoulder blades are going to be important. I think you can see this in this sculpt. He's skinny, so he have created this pretty accurately. We can actually just copy that. So, or wait, maybe we can actually look at it in a reference. So we have this reference that we can follow, or we can actually just follow this sculpt as well. I guess because this sculpt is a little bit better visually, we're gonna be, following this. So yeah, let's just use the clay strip brush and yeah, just add this. So again, right now it is just a block out. We're gonna be polishing all these stuff a little bit later. And yeah, I guess let's just use the draw brush to mark this out nicely. And yeah, we have our shoulder blade marked out. And now we can just add a little bit of volume. Nice. So yeah, if you think that they are a little bit out or in, you can always just fix that. For example, I feel like that they are a little bit too out, so I'm just gonna push them in. And the neck area is looking a little bit weird. We're gonna be fixing that as well. But yeah, we have kind of created a torso that looks kind of okay. We also need to create the backbone. So you can see right over here. But before we do that, let's actually do some of the neck. So for the neck, one of the main muscles, if I can, okay, there it is. So one of the main muscles that you clearly can see in the neck is this one right over here that connects your collarbone center, basically this particular area, and it basically connects the back of your head. So if I were to just look at the same muscle, you can see how it is connecting over here. And this is basically the muscle that I'm talking about. So we're gonna be doing that. Let's just get out of the local view, and I'm gonna be connecting that right over here. So let's just use the clay strip brush and basically mark this, right? And I'm gonna be using the grab brush and start pushing it back a little bit. And this one is gonna go in front. Yep. I think the neck is a little bit too big, so I'm just going to be pushing it up kinda like this. And let's see. Actually, I think the neck is okay. We just need to make it a little bit thinner because he's in stylized character, right? So because he's in stylized character, I think it's gonna be better to just make the neck a little bit thin, and we can just push this in front, and we might have to change the back part of the head a little bit. We can just push it in front. Again, he's in stylized character, so we are allowed to do that. And let's just make the neck a little bit thinner. So yeah, you can see this is what we have. And this is the first muscle that we have created. So that we have blocked out basically. And now the second muscles are going to be your shoulder muscle. So not the shoulder muscle, but the, what do we even call these? Like these one. So we're gonna be doing that. And if I can show it to you, maybe you can see they basically connect with the collarbone up until the back area. So there they are. You can see that they connect to the shoulder blades. So we're gonna have to do that. And let's just use the clay strip brush and basically try and achieve that. So this is where this muscle is gonna be, and that's how it is gonna connect. So you can clearly see that there is a difference between this one and this one. So you can see how it connects. Okay, so we have added this muscle. We also need to add some of the backbone area, um, like these kind of a thing that is gonna make him look like even skinnier. So yeah, these are so many things. Like there are so many things that we actually need to do. Let's just go back to our skinny reference. So yeah, right over here, and you can see there's so many things that are going on in the neck, and that's because, okay, first thing first, you can clearly see this muscle right over there, and these are tendons, by the way. Tendons are the things that connects your muscle with your bones. So I guess these guy does not have that much muscles, but tendons. So we're gonna have to do that. You can clearly see this. And I guess I should have just used this as a reference. So I'm gonna start removing all these muscles that I have added. And yeah, let's just start removing all this stuff. So you can see how much of a gap we have over here. So we can actually add this. I'm gonna start removing the volume and have this same exact gap. Maybe not that deep. I've exaggerated it a little bit too much. And we can start adding these tendons that are going like this. So you can see right over here. And then we have this right over here. So we can start removing. Yeah, you can see we have created a nice looking neck, I guess. Again, we don't wanna polish everything. We wanna make sure that we have everything at blockout stage, so that if we want to, we can just change them whenever we want. Okay, now the next thing that we wanna do is, even though we've created the chest from the echo shape model, I don't want to have the chest like this. I want to have chest that is going down like this. So you can clearly see. So let's just do that actually. I'm going to start removing some of the volume. This was only to explain you how the anatomy works. But in the real life, you can see in the skinny people, especially the old skinny people, it just goes down a little bit because of all the skin stretching. So we're going to have to do that as well. And I'm just gonna be creating something like this. So yeah, let's just do that. And so you can clearly see we have to add so many details in order to make him look good. And right now we are only at the blocking stage. So it is gonna take its time. We can also add some volumes in between. I think I've exaggerated it a little bit too much. So let's just do that. And yeah, you can see, I guess we can have a little bit of volume right over here. So somewhere like this. And yeah, it does look like it is falling, like the gravity is working and it look like a cloth, just like we have over here. We need to add all these ribs, but I'm gonna do that later. It kind of comes in the detailing part. But we have the torso, and now let's just work on the arms a little bit, I guess. We still have to work on the shoulders and stuff. Right now, I think I've did the shoulder a bit too much. He definitely does not have that much details. Sorry, not details, but the muscles. So let's just extrude the forearm, and then we'll continue. So yeah, I'm gonna be masking this part like this, Control I, and then let's just move it. So for the forearms, you can see that we have the biceps, which we have not created yet. So let's just do the biceps and then we'll do the forearm area. So the biceps are going to be pretty simple. Actually, we have these two muscles that goes like this in the front. That's why it is called biceps, by the way, because there are two muscles, right? So these muscles go underneath the shoulder, you can see, and then the shoulder comes on top. So always do that, right? And we are actually just blocking it out. So let's just block it out. I think this much should be fine. It's not that bulky in terms of muscle. So I think we don't need to do more than this much. And now let's just do the triceps. So the triceps are in the pair of three. That's why they're called triceps. One, two, three. So yeah, that's why they're called triceps. And triceps are also underneath the shoulder. So yes, we're gonna do that as well. So I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna use the clay strip and start adding the triceps. So one, two, and kind of three. This is where the volumes are, and that goes inside the shoulder as well. So you can see we have the triceps. I'm just gonna keep on adding, and then it just continues to the elbow area. So if I were to create an elbow area kind of over here, actually, let's just increase the resolution. I think we can work with a little bit more resolution right now. So this is how it is gonna connect to the elbow area, kind of like this. And yeah, then we have this muscle that goes right over here. So I'm just gonna add that. And yeah, let's just go to this part. So you can see that in between the triceps and the biceps, we have this small little muscle right over here. So we're gonna have to add that as well. And let's just add the biceps first. So this is going to be our bicep, and then this is going to be a tricep. Oh yeah, triceps actually connects right over here. So yeah, it connects like this. Let's just look at it at a reference. If I can, okay, there it is. You can see how it connects right over here, right? So it connects like this, and this is going to be our first head of the triceps. And then we have the middle one, and then this one. So I hope that it actually makes sense. We're gonna have to connect this tricep to this particular area. And now let's actually just start adding some volumes, even though in the future I'm gonna be removing these volumes because this guy is not that bulky. So we don't need his triceps to be that big. And I guess this big of a triceps is good enough. So yeah, we have that. And then we have the middle part that I've talked about. So this area, so you can actually just add a little bit of volume right over here. And we have our arm. Now, we want to do the forearm. So for the forearm, you basically just have this. Just add some volume that goes like this, and this particular muscle just comes at the wrist area. So it just connects like this. I hope that you can see what I'm trying to do. If you were to look at it from the front, just make sure that this becomes a little bit broader like this, and this part also becomes a little bit broader, kind of like this. So you have something like this going on, and let's just connect this kind of like this. So you can see there is this muscle that goes like this, and then this particular muscle, it just comes around on top, and it makes an forearm. Right now, obviously, it's not polished, but let me just show you what I'm trying to say. Yeah, you can see right over here, a muscle comes like this, that makes up your bottom part of your forearm. So right over here, I have exaggerated it a little bit, but don't you worry, we're gonna fix all of that. And then we have this that goes on top, right? This one right over here that we've just created, and it basically just create a forearm. So now we know that we just need to fix the volume. You can see this angle. So we're gonna be achieving that. I'm gonna be doing this, and let's just lower it down a little bit. So yeah, let's just fix the volume, and we should be good to go. Actually, it's better to just look at our main reference. So these, because he's the guy that we are eventually making, right? So it needs to match him more. And I guess I need to get a little bit more references, because I know that the person is going to be skinny, but still how skinny is still, I mean, I just need more references. So let's just say like that. And okay, so from the front view, we obviously need to make the wrist a little bit smaller. And let's just look at it from the top view actually. If I have any top view, I don't think that I have. Oh, there they are. So it could get a little bit haunting looking at all these muscles, but don't you worry, it is not really that complicated. You just have, you can clearly see that some muscles that go straight to the wrist. So you can just add that, and let's just look at it from the similar angle. You can just have these muscles that goes to the wrist straight away, and we can just carve them. And yep. Okay, so we have these, and we need to make the wrist now. Actually, we have already created the wrist. We need to create the hands, the palms, and let's just make them a little bit thinner, and make them a little bit thinner from here as well. So now that we have this, let's just create the hand out of it. I'm going to be using the lasso mask, and I'm going to mask this out and press Ctrl I, and basically smooth things out, because this is going to be the part that is going to be our hand. So I'm just going to push it out, and I'm going to be giving it the shape of the hand. Now, also one thing, I want to push it down to create an angle like this. So it is kind of important to do that. Also, one thing that you can do that is going to make your sculpt look a little bit better, I've totally forgotten it. You can just lasso mask this, press Ctrl I, or not, doesn't really matter. And where is it? Smooth your mask out. So something like this, and just rotate it. So yeah, just do that. I press shift right click, and I think it is hidden for some reason. I don't know why. But it is right over there. I was able to rotate it. I don't know why it is hidden, like weird, but okay. Now I'm going to lasso mask my wrist area. So Control I, and again I know that I'm gonna have to fix all of this stuff, like all these sculpting that I've did. It's not polished yet, but I am just adding the, like I'm just adding basic sculpting so that we have something there to work with, so that we can see if it is actually working or not. Okay, now we need to do the hand, and you can see how the hands are supposed to be. So what I'll do, first you can see that it is our right hand, right? And we are also working on our right hand. So let's just look at him at the similar angle, kind of like this. And this is going to be our thumb right over here, if I can pull it out. But I'm not going to pull it out like this. First, we need to make sure that the shape of the hand actually works. So I'm going to be matching it with this. And yeah, let's just do that. And okay, I think I matched it. I'm going to be making it a little bit thinner from the finger area, because this is where the fingers are going to come from. And let's just do that. Yep. Okay. Okay, now we can actually just extract stuff. So let's just pull this back a little bit. I think the palms, actually, do you know what? It is totally okay. We can always just change all this stuff. So I'm going to press Alt Temp, and then I'm going to mask this area. So mask, Control I, and let's just use the grab and pull out the thumb. So something like this, Alt Temp, Control R. And we also need to pull out the fingers. Uh, do you know what? Right now, the fingers that we are gonna be pulling out are going to be the proxy fingers. In the future, we are going to be making the fingers separately right now. But right now, let's just pull them out. Okay, so the fingers, obviously there is a shape to it. So the index finger is going to be like this, and then we have something like this going on. So let's press Control R, and we have the fingers. Okay, we're gonna have to fix the arm now. You can clearly see it is definitely not working. We need to make the fingers a little bit thicker. So let's just add some thickness by inflation. And yeah, let's just do that. Okay, we also need to make sure that fingers bend a little bit. So I'm just going to do that, Control I, and let's just rotate. Put the pivot right over here and rotate it like this. Now I'm going to use the lasso, and again I'm going to rotate. So yeah, okay, I guess this is good enough. I'm not creating exact fingers, but again the idea is to have something there so that we can see whether the design is working or not. And right now I guess the design is definitely working. So I'm not really gonna go into the details in the hand, but if you wanna make the hand, just look at your own hand and figure out whether everything is working or not. So let's see if I have something for the hand and the crochet. I don't think that I have something for the hand, but let's see. Okay, we have a muscle that goes right over here and a muscle that goes right over here. And you can clearly see those muscles in your own hand as well. So yeah, we can actually add those. And I think hand is one of those parts where you can just look at your own hand and it would be easier for you to do that way. So yeah, just do that. And we are also gonna be creating the tendons and everything, but right now I don't want to do that because again, we are at the pretty beginning stage and I don't want to just commit everything. So before committing and adding details, I think I just want to leave it like this and basically fix the proportions. I think fixing the proportions is gonna be the better option. So let's just look at him and let's just fix all the biceps and everything. I know that is not gonna have that big of a triceps. So let's just start removing some of the volumes from the triceps. Is not gonna have that big of a triceps, right? Also, let's just save it. Right. So let's just start removing some of the volumes. I'm going to lower down my strength. So yeah, let's just start removing some of the biceps. And this is just R&D, like I'm designing a character and I know he's gonna be skinny. So that's why I basically just wanna remove all the muscles. Obviously, he does not have fat. We have not added any fat. Okay, so I guess before we start removing stuff, we need to add basic muscles. So the next muscle that I want to add is this back muscle that connects to your shoulder and it basically goes to the back. So this one right over here. So this muscle right over here that you are seeing, it is going to the back and yeah, this is the one that I want to make now. So if you were to just look at it, right over here, you can see how it is going to the back and it is connecting towards the middle of the backbone. So yeah, this is what we want to do. So yeah, let's actually just do that. I'm gonna be using the clay strip brush and let's start adding this muscle. So you can see how it goes from here, right? It goes right from this area and it gets to the back. It goes down. Let's just look at it let's just look at the reference so that it would be easier for you to follow. Okay. Yep. So you can see how it is going to the back and we still have not added the hip bone. I think we should do that next. So it basically just goes like this, right? And this is also a muscle that is super important. It basically hides your rib cage. So yeah, let's just do that. And okay, I guess it is fine. And now we can actually just start creating this particular muscle. So yep, so we have created this back and this, and these muscles are basically going to be right over here. But because he's like skinny, we don't really have to bother that much with it. I think I should have a reference for the back, a real reference, not the Echo one, just like we have it right over here. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that. Like I'm gonna cut the video and I'm gonna be adding those reference. But before we do that, let's actually add all these stuff. So I guess before we start adding all this stuff, we should extrude the legs as well. So yeah, let's just do that. I'm gonna be using the mask, and then I'm gonna be doing this and press Control I, and let's just use the move tool and pull this down. So I guess this long should be good enough, right? Yeah, I think this long seems good enough. Press Control R. We can always change the proportions, by the way. So it doesn't really matter if it is not accurate or not. Let's just smooth it out, and let's start by fixing the bum, like the like the back area. So we actually have muscles in the back. Do you know that? It's not just the fat. So you can see that it connects to the thigh area, and we're gonna have to do that as well. But before we do that, we need to add this bone right over here. You can actually feel this bone that goes like this, the hip bone basically. So let's just mark this. So we have the draw sharp, and it is gonna be approximately right over here, right? So right over here, it is gonna go like this, maybe not that high, and it's just gonna disappear. So we're gonna have to have this right over here, and now we can actually just start adding the muscles. Here they are, right? And let's just go back, and I'm gonna be doing this, something like this. We can always fix that. So yeah, let's just start adding the volume, and I'm gonna be adding this muscle that goes like this. And yeah, it is not spherical, like the bump is not spherical. It is more like how do we say it? It is more square or rectangular in shape. So you can see you basically have something like this going on. Yep. Let's just add the muscle without saying anything. Okay, it is kind of hard for me to do the commentary, not gonna like I am just adding the muscle. There's nothing else that I'm doing. So I don't know what to say. We can actually remove this part. We don't really need it right now. And let's just look at it from the back, and you can see how much out it basically gets, like how much outside. So I'm gonna be pushing this out. And the problem is, this guy is supposed to be skinny, right? That's not the problem. But we don't have a good reference for a skinny guy that is basically naked from the back. So we're gonna have to just add the muscle right now, and then we can figure out in the future how much of this muscle we wanna keep, or how much of this muscle do we wanna remove. So yeah, that is also one of those things. I can do one thing. I can actually just use the draw sharp and basically mark the middle. So something like this. And then I can just do that. You can see that it is going out a little bit. And then I can use this as a mark to basically create this volume. So let's just create this volume in the middle right over here. So somewhere around here. it should be good enough, right? It just goes towards here and let's just smooth it out. So this is what we have. It is not super accurate, but we are going to make it accurate in the future. And the next thing would be, I've totally forgotten, we have this big muscle right over here. So this one, so this particular muscle that we have, we actually need to add this right over here. And this is pretty important as well. So just do that. Okay, right now I think I marked the hip bone a little bit wrong. So I'm just changing that. I'm gonna mark it again in the future. I think I marked it a little bit up. It is not supposed to be that up. So yeah, just do that. And let's just look at it from different angles so that we can actually get this muscle at the right place. Yeah, you can see it basically just goes towards the back. So yes, I am gonna like get some more skinny people's reference. It because we don't have it enough. Yeah, you can see the same muscle right over here. So that's pretty nice. We can actually remove some of this stuff. You can see that we have some gap right over here. So we can actually just start removing these. And do we have the same gap right over here? I don't know if we have that, but we can actually just start removing some of these. Okay, so we have basically removed all the stomach area, and I have this muscle that is a little bit too much. Not gonna lie, I think I've did it a little bit too much. I need to add the hip bone area actually. So you can clearly see this particular bone is what I was talking about, and it is going to be a little bit below. So right over here is basically where it is supposed to be. So I'm just gonna add that. You can clearly see it right over here. And yeah, we're gonna have to do this as well. And after that, we are gonna be readjusting the hip area. I think it must have been. So the hip is actually at the correct position, which is fantastic. Okay, so this is what we created, and this video is already approximately 50 minutes long. So we need to do the leg, we need to do the back, and basically the bottom area. We've already created the top part, and we also need to do the hands, which we're gonna do, I guess, in a separate video. We'll see, we'll see. We also need to fix a whole lot of stuff. But yeah, we're gonna be doing all of this in the next video because this video has already been too long. So yeah, I'm just gonna see you in the next one.